Welcome back to our series on how Policy Express can help you successfully manage your policies through the full policy management lifecycle. In this video, we're on the fourth step, which is acknowledgement, or also known as attestation. So attestation is the more formal name, and you've probably come across it where maybe you've asked to sign a company handbook to say that yes, you agree and abide by those policies. Now let's see how Policy Express can support that requirement when you need to attest a policy. So I'm back in our demo environments here, and I want to go into our Policy Hub. Now, the documents we're looking to attest are the PDF documents which have been approved, not the Word documents which are still in progress or may not have been approved yet. So to do that, we click on our Publish Policies. And as you can see, we get a list of all those in a document library format. Now I can go and select the policy that I want. In this case, I'm going to select the environmental policy right at the top here, and I'm going to request acknowledgement. Now, we've built an app here to make this so much easier. We can also support groups in here. So I've typed in the sales group and that's come through. And I can also put individuals in, such as Ben. And now we can put a date in when we require that to be done. So let's say November the 30th. And we press submit. Now behind the scenes, this will now create an email and send that to the person who needs to attest it, or group of people in this case. So let's go and check our email and see how it's coming on. So my email has actually come in here, and I'm getting notification this is important and I need to acknowledge this document here. So I've got a link here. I've also got this link within the intranet as well. Now that's going to fire up our policy acknowledgement power app. And as you can see, actually, I've got a few documents here to review, but obviously the one we want to worry about is the environmental policy. And as you can see, that due date's come through. So I can view this within the window here, and I can click acknowledge and press confirm. And now once I press confirm, that's created a record. One of the things which is important to say is as soon as this policy is issued for acknowledgement, we take a copy of that document. So you've got the copy which the person attested to, and that stays frozen. So if an incident happens in the future and you want to go back and see which policy was in force at this time attested by this person, you have got that evidence. So what I'm going to do is hit the confirm, and then we're going to go and look at the data behind the scenes. Perfect. That's complete. So let's come back into our policy hub here. Now, there's a few things that we can do under the administration. Firstly, we can look at the acknowledgement list. Now, this bit of data here will show you the copy of the document that we created of the environmental policy. So the new policy comes along which replaces it. We've still got this original copy at this point in time. So we have that ID there. We've got the created date. And then in here, we'll have who's acknowledged it. The second thing that we have is the Power BI dashboard. So if we go into our dashboard here, we can start looking at the people who haven't signed their policies, because that's really what you want to do here is manage by exception. So the people who have signed them, they're great. We don't need to worry about them. What we do need to worry about is the people who haven't signed them. So let's give that a second to come through. And here's our policy dashboard. Now, we're worried about the people who haven't actually acknowledged documents. So let's dive into that. So we can see who are all the pending people here and who's acknowledged and the dates around that. And then we can actually filter on pending, because that would be useful to us, and we can start focusing on which one of those we need to go and investigate further. So click on pending, and there we go. So perfect. We've now got a list of people we can chase and the documents that they haven't signed. So given all that, let's summarize what we've seen in the acknowledgement step. So the first thing we saw is we could send a policy to individual users or Microsoft 365 groups or Active Directory or Entra Directory security groups. Now, those security groups do need to be email enabled. That's just a limitation of SharePoint. But those are the groups that you can use to send policies to. At the point that we send those, we take a version of that document. So we have that copy held. And then we have the ability to report at a high level at Power BI or drill down actually using that version and capture information as well. So all that data is captured for your records. So that completes the acknowledgement step. The next step in the process will be the feedback step, which will be the fifth video in this series.